You're watching Experience Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit comicshoplocator.com to find a store near you.
Oh my gosh, it's Monday. It's been raining for like 3 days here. It's like really starting to press me. I can't stand it anymore. So much rain.
Oh man, it's gorgeous down here.
Well, John's laughing at me because John is perpetually retired. So, you know, nothing gets him down.
Come on now.
I'll just go somewhere else because I'm retired.
It's October. It's spooky season. I've been in the house for the last 4 days watching Vincent Price movies.
I swear to God, if you mention
off.
pumpkin spice, I will strangle you to death here and now. Dude.
I had pumpkin spice. I had a pumpkin ale from Iron Hill.
Ew.
Very good.
Okay. Ew.
Oh, and Zed still has peach IPA up. Also very tasty.
Who does?
Zed's. His peach IPA. It's very good.
All right. So we got Preston in the house. Ron's in the house. We're Rupenstein. What's going on, guys?
More importantly, we have Mariano in the house.
And Josh Wentz back. Hey, what's going on, Josh? How you doing, buddy? Long time no talk, man. So we got Robbie back, and we managed to convince Mariano to come back and continue to draw. We've turned this into basically a animation sweatshop. So what you don't see is that Mariano's ankles are shackled together, so he can't run too fast.
You know what? We've got the things where one's on his leg and one's on Ken Hazer's leg, so they can never get too far apart, right?
Well, no. I wouldn't want to do that to Ken Hazer. I like Hazer.
Yeah, but we got to Ken's got to pick up the pace a little bit.
Poor Ken.
Why don't you give him a call?
Poor Ken is all I have to say. We love Ken.
We
and
do.
I would be shackled to him anytime.
All right, so Mariano's going to do 2 tonight.
Excited.
Clea is 1, and Dormammu is the other. So Mariano thought we had some sort of real professional thing going on. So he asked me, should we let them choose? Should we decide? I'm like, I don't know. We'll make it up as we go along like we do with everything. So, all right. So everybody in the chat, which one do you want to see first? We got to get that camera so it's...
Your wish is my command.
We'll see how many Strange Academy fans are out there.
All right. So, yeah, for real, right? All right, so we'll leave it up to the crowd, but you got like 5 minutes because otherwise Mariano's got to get started.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
See, that should be a Disney Plus show.
What?
Strange Academy. That's the show. That's
so. All right, so Ron has all right. So Sheldon says Dormammu. Ron has no opinion. He thinks it's totally the way. Rupenstein says Strange. That's not an option.
The option she's Clea Strange.
That's true.
That's true.
Okay.
She's now the new Strange, a new Doctor Strange.
Well, that was even tipped off in.
Did she go to medical school though? I don't think Clea went to medical school, so I don't think she's a doctor.
Robbie has an important question. This is very relevant. Did she go to medical school?
I do not know.
See, and if you notice, her book right now is just called Strange. So she's not a doctor, I guess.
That's a very good point.
Neither is Victor Von Doom, though, just so everybody knows. He got kicked out of college. So
all right, so we got 1 for 1, and then a I don't care. So somebody's got to make the call. All right, somebody make the call.
You make the call, sir. You're in charge. You make it happen.
Which one do you think would be more difficult to do?
Dormammu.
Then let's go with that one first.
He's got to do all the fire and stuff in his head.
That's true. There's a lot of fire there.
Dormammu.
All right. So there we go. The price on the CCAs. All right, Ron, hold on a second, buddy. I got to look. I want to say they are 75, and they are. So, all right. Let's see. Doctor Strange #1, blank variant signed with Dormammu. Cover sketch by Mariano Nicieza and Joe Del Beato. Just a retail of $149.99, and we have the one for $75.
And to be fair, we should call it a Joe Del Beato with Mariano, because Joe did all the heavy lifting with the inking.
Okay, we'll make a note of that.
Yeah, but isn't the more difficult part of it being here with us?
Yes,
that is true.
Yes,
He got to drive home by himself.
It's a hard yes.
That's true. That's a very good point. Combat pay, I guess you got to count.
Joe, would you like to be on the show? No.
No. I'll just draw the sketches.
No.
After you. Very dangerous. After you.
Oh my God. Man. So Robbie, looks like you guys got a full-blown QB controversy coming up, bro.
No, it's not. It's no controversy, man. I'm just happy that Cooper Rush has the same record as your Eagles do right now. He's 4-0 in his career, so that's pretty fantastic.
I'm telling you, you see what's coming, bro. Okay,
dude.
If Cooper wins the next one,
everybody's been talking to me about this. Alec even was messing. Okay,
it's on the horizon. Okay, this is the same thing that happened to Tony Romo and Dak Prescott, right?
It's not the same thing.
So it's on the horizon. Cooper wins the next one. Dak comes back, doesn't play well. What do you do? Because the fans are going to be screaming for it,
bruh. Well, they ain't been watching the football games then, because Cooper Rush almost threw 3 picks last night, and 2 of them we got OPI.
But he didn't is the point.
It doesn't matter if he didn't. Like, he's not the dude. He hasn't. I mean, what? He's 25 points. That's the most he's ever scored, right? So, like, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. They'll probably sit Dak out next week, and then the Rams will beat the Cowboys, and then they're justified in bringing him back for the Eagles, is what I think is going to happen.
I don't know. I don't know about that, because I'm telling you, I mean, listen, who thought Nick Foles was going to come in and take us to the Super Bowl?
I didn't think that.
See, there you go. There you go.
I'm telling you, it's not. The thing with you mentioned the Romo Dak thing when that happened. Well, Romo was near the end of a career. Dak's kind of in the middle of it, and Dak just got a big payday. So I don't think that there's going to be any controversy. He's the man. He's the guy that they're paying.
That all depends on how he plays. I mean, it really rests on his shoulders. If
he plays poorly for a couple of games, then I'm all for bringing back Cooper and seeing what's happening. But
that's what I'm saying.
I don't think that's what's going to happen. Because Dak has been sitting there listening to this for weeks, because that's all the media wants to talk about. And so he's been, for weeks, he's got it in his head, like, I got to go out there and show out and earn my money.
Just because he says it doesn't mean he can do it. I'm sure Carson Wentz is saying exactly the same thing.
Well,
but it's not working.
I would say, regardless of your level of play, if you're a starting quarterback in the NFL, you probably have a pretty good, like, desire and willpower to go along with certain things. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'm sure Mitch Trubisky has lots of desire.
Well, congratulations to your Eagles, the only still remaining undefeated team. So that's cool for you guys.
That was interesting to watch. Is John Spilios in the house? Lyle, what's going on? Emmy Comics here early today. That's awesome. John Spilios, I know he's probably feeling pretty bad after watching the Bucks and the Chiefs game. But what are you going to do? I mean, it's not like Tom played a bad game. I mean, you know, Mahomes was just playing like crazy, like a child, like an adult playing against a child. Stevie B, your Jets won, dude, and they pulled a Philly special. I was happy to see that, actually. I root for the Jets when there's nothing else on TV.
Yeah, they deserve something good, right?
So what's that?
I said they deserve some positivity in their life, Jets fans.
They do. And Tua, that's sad. That whole situation is very sad. Guy was finally coming into his own, and then, man, are you kidding me?
The best comment I heard about that situation, now this is brutal, so brace yourselves, this is pretty brutal, but someone said the concussion protocol people from Miami would have sent JFK back into the parade.
Oh, man.
That is brutal.
It's brutal, but I mean, that's the level. I mean, that's the level of it. I mean, these guys swear both ethical and legal oaths to sort of, they sign contracts. There's a whole thing. And you're just saying, hey, rub some dirt on it and go out there.
What's scary was obviously when his fingers started crossing, which they say is a brainstem issue. So that is definitely an injury, which means that more than likely he had a concussion last week as well. I read about it, and I'm ambivalent about the Dolphins, AFC team, not even from around here, but I think it's really sad. I mean, I think the kid really at this point has to consider retiring, depending on what the prognosis is.
Do the Andrew Luck thing. Pay me and I'm leaving. Well, and you're going to see more people doing that too.
Yeah, but his contract's guaranteed, so it's not a question of money at this point. He's got a $30-some million contract guaranteed.
No, what I meant by the Andrew Luck thing is he just decided, look, I'm tired of getting hurt. You guys don't protect me, so I'm leaving.
Well,
and I think you're going to see more guys doing that too. You get $15-20 million guaranteed. You know what? I want to be able to.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think that's the biggest problem. I think 2 is the biggest problem. I don't think the kid wants to retire. You don't do all of this and put up with all this and that level of game just because you're trying to get rich.
See, nobody cares about us. It's all about the Mariano cam. Look,
hey, that's okay with me. That's why he's here.
As it should be, y'all.
That's why he's here, so people can see the comics come live. But Stevie B, Hamburglar.
What is up with those? So he's talking about he just got one of those new adult Happy Meal toys, and so I was kind of excited for that. And then I looked in their toys. What's up with these 4 eyes on them? I don't understand. I don't know if you guys have seen those, but it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I have not. And weird, what's going on, buddy? I have not.
And I am a Happy Meal toy connoisseur, just so you know. Like I collect 80s and 90s Happy Meal toys that I loved when I was a kid.
I didn't even know that existed, my friend. That's interesting.
Yeah, they have an adult Happy Meal, which is just basically a boxed McDonald's value meal with a toy. But the toys are weird. It's like the Grimace and Hamburglar, but they got 4 eyes.
They're trying to hit the nostalgia market.
Yeah, but what's up with the 4 eyes? I don't understand. They have 4 eyes. That's what I don't get. Because otherwise, I'd be down. I'd be down.
We got to Google that. All right. So Mariano is currently working on Doctor Strange #1 blank variant signed with Dormammu cover, sketch by Joe Del with Mariano Nicieza, which he is coloring live as we speak.
I'm right next to art.
Thank you, Jay. Suggested retail of $149.99, and we have the one for $75. All right, so let's get the best offer items. So we have a statue tonight, one that we have never had on before. It is Vampirella Linsner Variant Edition bust. That is a close-up shot. Is that what we sent you, Jay?
Well, you said it was a bust, and so
yes, sir. This is the one I got.
That's what we got. Okay. Yeah, that's super close up. Let me see if I'll get you another one during the break.
I'll just crack open this box. It'll be fine.
Actually, can you hold up the box in front of you?
Hold up the box.
Hey Jay, let's move that photo for a second. All right, so here we go.
Yeah, she's
It is the variant one, so it's that one.
Yeah, it's the black and white one. Those are always the best. I love those.
I bet nobody can.
The collar does not come off, and the collar is very nice, by the way. All right, it is suggested retail of $175. It is a best offer item starting at $100. All right, so then we have.
I really like the Open Your Heart book. It's very cool.
Then we have Barbarella #8 premium metal virgin cover by Derek Chu. Suggested retail of $100, and it is a best offer item starting at $40. All right, and then we have Vampirella Dracula Unholy #3 premium metal virgin cover TMNT homage by Ken Hazer, our friend Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $100. It is a best offer book starting at $40. All right. All right. Hi to you. Oh, cool, Ken. I'm glad to hear it, buddy. So Mariano.
Yes, sir.
Don't you have a story? Oh, don't you have a story? But you just mentioned about Jimmy Palmiotti.
there was conversation about Jimmy Palmiotti before the show began. It is a really long-winded story, but it is my favorite San Diego Comic-Con story of all time. And it involves Mr. Jimmy Palmiotti. But I think it'll activate the drinking game because it also involves dropping all sorts of names.
Hold on, everybody. Did you have a chance to grab your liqueur of choice?
I don't know if it counts. Is it name dropping for Mariano? Because he's also a creator. You see what I mean? Like like I'm nobody. So when I mention it, it's a name drop. When he mentions it, it's just a conversation he had with another creator, right?
Why are you trying to cheat these people from their drinks? Why you do that? That's one. This is why all of John's emails go to my junk folder.
Well, when I was discussing this game with Tom Stigowski and Janine Atchison, she didn't specify what the rules were going to be for what was a name drop.
We're already up to 3 people. You better hurry up. Catch up. All right. So Ed Weird has a brand new 5th of Blackberry Brandy for this evening. Ready to go.
Excellent.
A 5th? That's all? Excellent. I don't think you're going to make it past
You'll be done by 7
hour.
o'clock.
Okay.
The ratings drop precipitously in the second hour.
I don't think so.
I think this story is going to carry over to other segments. I really do. It's a long one.
That's okay.
I'm going to get started.
Okay, you go ahead.
San Diego Comic-Con, 2010. And I've worn a lot of different hats over the years. So this is Mariano doing trade shows because I work in the trade show industry, and I would actually work with companies that design and implement exhibit booths. So I was working for such a company, and I happened to be at San Diego Comic-Con, and it was 2010. And I remember the year, and you'll see why I remember the year in a short while. I'm going to be doing so many name drops for this story. You're not going to believe it. No one's going to believe it, but it's the truth.
Maybe you guys
everybody buckle up.
A tumbler, and that's to cut me off. Oh, no.
Okay, 2010. So there's a conference call that I have to be on. And in my arrogance, because doing trade shows, you kind of get to know the exhibit halls before people move in. So I'm used to these exhibit halls being totally open, and you kind of roam around from room to room and nobody stops you. So San Diego Comic-Con, I had a conference call. In hindsight, I should have taken the conference call in my car and just had some privacy. But no, being Mr. Convention, I figured I was going to find an empty room at San Diego Comic-Con, an empty room, and have my conference call. So 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm roaming around, and the only room I could find was this giant banquet hall looking room filled with round tables, and it was virtually empty. So I walked in, sat down at a table near the back of the room. There were maybe 2 or 3 people in a corner, and that's it in the entire room. So set up my laptop, set up the phone, earpiece, and I got going with the conference call. As I'm having this conference call, people start filling the room. And all of a sudden, one of the people I see, and I'm going to need some help here, John. Mm-hmm. I'm going to need some help.
Okay.
I always forget this actor's name. It's the guy from the Batman movies. He played Commissioner Gordon in the last trilogy.
Jeremy Irons?
Ullman.
Gary Oldman?
Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman. So out of the corner of my eye, I spot Gary Oldman in this room.
4.
Oh, you wait.
What? You dropped an 8.
Wait. So, okay. I'm in the middle of a call. I notice this guy, and that's it. I'm just going about my business. Now the room really starts to fill up, and now they've removed these white cloths from these corner tables. So the entire one corner of the room was filled. It was like a breakfast hall, like a banquet hall with all sorts of breakfast stuff. And now this room is filling up with all sorts of people. And I swear to God, out of the other corner of my eye, as I'm on this call, who do I see sitting by himself at a table? Who's the actor that did Book of Eli? I know this guy.
Denzel Washington?
Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington in the room.
He's up to 5 already, folks.
Buttering a bagel.
Wow.
Buttering a bagel.
And his are good, too.
Having a bagel. And then that's when it hit me that I'm in the wrong room at the wrong time.
You think?
So as this room is filling up, there is a big, burly security guard. I mean, this guy was built like a brick, you know what. Comes over, and he he interrupted my call. He said he points to his wrist and he says something about I'm supposed to have a band. Now, I don't know. Yeah, I know. It was definitely an oh. I don't know what came over me. I don't know why I said this and did this, but I looked up at the guy and I said, I'm in the middle of a call. I'm very busy right now. I'm waiting for Megan Fox and her management team. I don't know why that came out of my mouth, but it did.
First, let's clarify. Were you?
Absolutely not.
Okay, fair enough.
All I remembered was, for whatever reason,
not a name drop.
Yet. So all I remembered was that I had read an article that Megan Fox, along with other actors, get into these crazy outfits and walk around the convention hall, and that's how they're like maintain their anonymity, but are able to experience cons. And I don't know why that popped into my head, but I went with it. The guy just nodded his head and walked away. Didn't challenge me, didn't say anything, just nodded his head and walked away. Now, he went back to the corner of the room with the other guys who I now recognize with their black shirts were all security people. And he kept his eye on me, but I stayed on the call. Now, at this point, this room is packed. And who else is running around in this room? Mila Kunis.
Oh, boy.
And she's literally dancing around.
6. Thank you, Robbie.
Now, she's dancing around because I realized she was actually in rehearsals for that movie Swan that she did, where she was playing a ballerina. So she was literally practicing runs in this big room with all these people. It was a surreal moment. It really was.
Hey, Triple B.
Triple B, what's up?
We're in the middle of a massive name drop.
And then Mariana woke up.
This is a big story. No. I'm telling you, this is true.
It just goes to show you, because they always say, like, if you're ever in a situation like that or whatever, or if you want to try to get into somewhere, just act like you belong there.
Like you belong, exactly. No, it's true.
That's why I'm
name drop Megan Fox.
That's why I'm sitting here.
So last actor I recognized, because I'm sure the room was full of them, but I didn't recognize all of them. Who's the guy that played Thanos?
Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin. He was in the room too.
7.
Thank you.
At least one person's fallen.
Wow, this is a new record. I think we're going to get him hammered before the first break.
At this point, even I realized that I'm in the green room for whatever. I learned later it was Warner Brothers, but I was in the Warner Brothers green room. This is where they send all the actors before they go to press junkets and before they go on panels. And I just happened to be in this room. And I wasn't supposed to be in the room, obviously.
Did you get to finish the conference call?
I'm sorry?
Did you get to finish the conference call?
I finished the conference call. The other detail that was important to this entire story, and it's 2010, I actually had a camera, like an old-fashioned camera that you put around your neck.
Oh, wow.
So that was also part of what I had with me, with my bag and my computer, my laptop computer, whatever. So I finished the call, and to your point, Mr. Security is still in the corner, and he's still, arms folded, staring at me. Will not take his eyes off me. Now, at this point, the old in for a penny, in for a pound. I figure, okay, now I have to go, right? I'm starting to pack up my stuff. It's time to go. I debated for a second going to get some free breakfast, but then I figured, no, that's one bridge too far. Going for the food was, I think, a little too far.
Well, that's exactly what I thought. He had a Peter Parker camera around his neck.
So I have two options. I can either go out the way I came, which is back into the hallway and back into the convention, or now I can go the other way, which is like these glass doors that lead into some terrace and sunlight. So I figured, what the hell? I'm going to go out to the terrace. I'm not going back into the convention. So I pack up my stuff and I go out into the terrace. And then in the distance on this terrace, I see that there's rows of these like booths set up. And it's the shooting gallery for like Entertainment Tonight and Extra and all these shows. So on one side is exactly. On one side is that whole setup, and then there's like a no man's land, and then off to the left is a gaggle of people with cameras, reporters and stuff. So I figured, okay, what the hell? I've got a camera around my neck. I'm just gonna go there. So I took a walk over there. I'm telling you, this is a true story. I swear to you, it's a true story. So I walk over there, and there's like this massive bunch of photographers, and now and sure enough, Denzel Washington comes traipsing along. He had done Book of Eli, and so did Gary Oldman. So it was like they were interviewing him for that movie. So now I'm watching them as they go from booth to booth and being interviewed and I'm playing the part and snapping some pictures and stuff. And who do I see out of the corner of my eye? Mr. Security.
No.
Mr. Security followed me outside, and he's still standing there, like doing his best impression of a mountain to block out the sun.
You should have told him to get your bottle of water. Chop on the water.
Okay. So, as this is going on, I turn to my right, and who do I see? Jimmy Palmiotti.
Yeah, which kind of is pale in comparison at this point.
But no, at this point, Jimmy Palmiotti is the most important person in my life. So we've known each other since the 90s. We worked together at Marvel. He's a good friend. He's a great guy.
Wrestle the security guard to the ground or something?
No. Wait. Hold it. I'm telling you a true story. So we look at each other, and we literally in stereo go, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And we like point at each other. It was like, so I tell him my tale no. How did this go? Yeah, I think I told him the story first, that I snuck in and did a conference call and whatever, but I didn't really go into all the details. So I say to him, "What are you doing here?" What is he doing here? He's coming to meet Megan Fox. He had arranged with his management team to have his picture taken with Megan Fox. And the next thing out of his mouth is, "Do you mind helping me? Here's my camera." I swear to God.
All right, so do you want me? Anybody want to see Mariano suddenly react in shock?
Why?
You ready?
Well,
you want me to do it?
Go ahead, do it.
Mara, did you realize you just dropped the F-bomb
Yeah,
on our show?
I did.
Robbie, I know you caught it.
Oh, I noticed that. I was like, I didn't know we could do that here. Huh.
Well, we've cursed on you. You've cursed on your show, though.
Yeah, but on my show, that's what we can do.
They'll take care of it in post. It's not like this is going out live.
Oh, I couldn't care less. I just wanted to. I know he didn't even realize that he did it. So don't let him finish it up there and then go, "Hey, did you notice?"
I am relating the story
as it
exactly
occurred.
how it came out. That's exactly what was said. So,
Preston, hold on. And as a special guest star, we have Megan. No, we don't. We absolutely do not.
I also have Jimmy Palmiotti on the phone. He wants to know what you mean by pales in.
I just think so. Like, did you actually take if you took a picture of Jimmy with Megan, imagine the look on the security guard's face when he sees you with Megan Fox.
So this is now the wrap up of the story. It's a finish of the story. So we looked, and then I said to him, "Oh my God, I relayed what the hell had gone on." So sure enough, and by the way, the connection was that Megan Fox and Josh Brolin were there to promote the other movie that came out in 2010, which was Jonah Hex. And
that's
Jimmy
right.
had been the writer on Jonah Hex. So there was a whole thing going on that I wasn't even privy to.
Right.
So sure enough, Megan Fox entered the scene with her entourage, and Jimmy and I crossed the no man's land to go to that end. And who's holding the rope stanchion for us to get in the
security guard man?
Security guard man, Mr. Security, actually held the rope for me and Jimmy. And
that is
I
pretty
took the
funny.
picture and said hello to her, blah blah blah, and yeah.
Here you go, kid. Get yourself something nice.
Yeah, right. flip him a quarter. Do you know who I am? All right, we got to go to our first break. So stay with us. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Hey, it's producer Kyle. If you like going places where the action never stops like Las Vegas, the Caribbean, and Atlantic City, then you're probably not who I want to talk to. But if you want to surround yourself with amazing comic books and comic book content, Made by a devoted group of smart and funny industry insiders, the Experience Members Club was made for you. You can join the experience by becoming a supporting member of our YouTube channel. You get access to exclusive content that no one else gets, like members-only live streams, pre-sales, one-on-one Q&As with production staff, and other content that's exclusively for members. Plus, for a limited time, if you sign up now, you'll be entered into our giveaway of a slabbed comic book. Just call this Wait, hold on. It's 2022. No one makes phone calls anymore. Scan the QR code at the bottom of the screen, or just visit the membership section of our YouTube page, and you'll be on the VIP line of the comic book buffet, baby. Look at the size of those perks. Join today, and I'll be saying, who loves you, baby? Me. The answer is me. Did you know that every Experience show, including some exclusive content, streams on Twitch? Check it out. Twitch.tv/the_EXP. Or just scan that QR code.
Hi, this is Chris Forther.
I'm Tony Fleece. We make the Image comic book Stray Dogs. You're watching The Experience.
We are back.
So Preston's cracking me up. I need to find another drink for these shows. Bourbon is meant to be savored, not thrown down.
See, that's what vodka is for. You probably want to put the bottle in the freezer about 2 hours before the show.
I said that last show, people. Okay, you don't want to be drinking your good stuff, man, because you won't be able to taste it 15 minutes into the show. So,
you know what I want to do before we get before we get started? I want to throw a shout out to a guy that's had his name on a lot of Dynamite books. Taylor Esposito, letterer. He was named Best Letterer of 2022 by Tripwire Magazine. 9.
Cool.
That is
cool.
Yeah. We're now on 9 shots.
No, but seriously, was that a name drop though?
That's a name drop. Taylor Esposito. He's an amazing
letterer. I did talk to him on Twitter, so yeah.
All right, well, you just made it a name drop then. So we are up to 9 people.
But I'm always glad to see that. I mean, I hate to say it, but we talked about this with Robbie. We talked about this with Alec. Some people in the creative process, sometimes they get lost. Letterers are one of them. And I'm really glad to see when they get their roses. They get their minute in the spotlight.
It's a good point.
There.
It's a really good point.
I mean, people will always talk about writer, artist, or artist, writer. But you start moving a little bit further along the credits, and sometimes maybe your colorist or your letterer or your inker don't get the credit they deserve.
Yeah, letterers are overlooked and underappreciated in this industry.
Correct.
Without them, we couldn't read these books. They're super important. I was just talking to Kevin Nolan last weekend.
Bang!
And I told
Robbie jumps in with the name drop. Nice.
And I was like, amazing. I was like, you're one of my favorite artists, inkers, colorists, and letterers. Absolutely amazing talent. So, yeah.
I have no names to drop, but I don't think I really need to. I mean, these poor people, my God.
I'm just getting them warmed up for some books, right? That's what we're doing, man.
What books? They can't even see the screen anymore. We're up to 10 shots in a half an hour. Okay? People die every day in college of doing that kind of stuff, bro. Oh, my gosh. You kidding me? You people are nailing them here today. Wow. I feel bad. My apologies to the viewers. What's that? Oh, that's the FCC. They're calling for me now. We got problems. All right. So let's get to another book. Project Superpowers, Chapter 2, number 1, signed by Jay Lee. We have one available, number 16 of 199, available for $29.99.
What a great book.
I love Jay Lee. Great artist.
Love
he's fantastic.
Very cool.
See, that's the old Dynamite logo. I miss that logo. Not that the Dynamite logo now is good, but I miss the old logo.
Why don't you talk to the publisher?
When do I ever get to talk to the publisher?
The minute you walk in the door. What are you talking about? Okay. You make a beeline for right there, unless you brought me food. Then you drop the food off first, and then you make a beeline.
I was talking to one of our cosplayers, and
is that a name drop, Robbie?
I said one of our
It's
cosplayers
working its way to one.
It's about to be.
And I said, there's like a hierarchy of communication. I said, like you would contact an assistant editor, like a director, whatever your particular concern is, that's how you contact. I said, it's not like, like Nick is answering the phone every time it rings Dynamite. And then she had said, the only person who barges into Nick's office and starts telling him stuff is me.
Oh, my Lord. My Lord. All right, so let's get the color cam, the Mariano cam up there. Let's take a look and see the progress there.
Telling the long story slowed me down.
It did.
But I think it was worth it.
It was absolutely worth it. That was a good one.
For the people that are still sober and awake, it was absolutely worth it. The others, you know what? The people that have passed out, just send them books. They won't even remember. Just send them the remittance. You absolutely bought the $600 piece of art. What are you talking about?
But so what you said this? You talked to him this weekend. Is that what you said?
Last weekend.
Last weekend.
Last weekend. Okay. And weird, sort of, kind of. You know what? For Preston, we'll do a Rex cap.
Do Rex cap.
All right. So we did. You know what? And I want to get a better picture of this box. Can you take a picture of the box there? And somehow we're gonna have to send it to Jay. I know you know how to do all this stuff since you're like a social media maven.
Does he have access to the experiences?
Ask him. Not sure.
Jay, you have access to the experiences messenger page, Facebook Messenger?
No, I only have Slack in my own email.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Send it to Amy and ask her if she wouldn't mind forwarding it, putting it on Slack for us. And Weird's got a good question. All right, Triple B, let's do the Rex cap for it and Weird. And then at Weird, that's a good question. We'll have to ask John. Notice I never incorporate the drinking game with the amount of movies he sees, because you'd all be drunk in 5 minutes.
Right.
All right. So we did Project Superpowers, Chapter 2, Number 1, signed by Jay Lee. And we have the one available for $29.99. Then we have the Vampirella Linsner Variant Edition bust. And this is a set, and we'll have the other, the Dawn version on Wednesday. So that is a best offer item, suggested retail of $175. It is the best offer item starting at $100. All right, and then we did. Then this is what Mariano's working on: Doctor Strange #1, blank variant, signed with Dormammu covers, sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano.
It doesn't look like that anymore.
It doesn't.
Yeah,
so
now it's been up.
Why don't you hold it up in the Mariano cam, and everybody can get a good look at it?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh, it's right here.
All right, so it's coming to life as we speak.
Very cool.
Close up a little bit if you don't mind, Mariano. There you go.
This is how I get in trouble. It's hard to angle this thing. Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's so hard. The camera's not moving and you're moving, and
you're making fun of me.
Just a little bit.
You're making fun of me.
A little bit. All right, so that is $149.99 suggested retail, and we have the one available for $75. And of course, Mariano will be done with it by the end of the show. All right, and then we did Barbarella #8, premium metal virgin cover by Derek Chu. Suggested retail of $100. It is a best offer starting at $40. And then we did Vampirella Dracula Unholy #3, premium metal virgin cover, TMNT homage by Ken Hazer. And that is a best offer book starting at $40. And then next up, we're going to do Mariano's book, The Outer Spacemen #1, signed by Mariano Nicieza. And it is $20. It's suggested retail of $25. Tonight's show special. Sorry about that, Jay. We gave you the wrong line item on the spreadsheet. $20 show special, and $15 if you purchase something else during the show. So that we have quantities of, and of course it will be signed by Mariano and can be personalized. And I know a lot of people got it personalized the last time we had it up. And then Mariano's going to join us usually on Mondays, right, Mar?
I think we can do Mondays. Yes.
All right. So, and then we might even have other creator guests who will join us either via StreamYard, so live on the air, or in the chats, depending. And some of the creators will be creators who have worked on projects with Mariano at Apex. So that'll be really cool. And we can do probably a Q&A kind of thing as well. So looking to do something to change up the show a little bit. Having new guests on, so on and so forth. So should be interesting. All right.
And by the way,
yes, sir.
For the duration of the show, I am Mariano Niciesa, friend of Megan Fox.
Oh boy.
Let's put that out there. and maybe we can get her on the show.
Okay, no. Mariano.
That's a bridge too far.
Okay. Are you drinking? Are you playing the drinking game?
Is he playing the drinking game?
Just like a bottle of bourbon underneath the table. I'm not aware of.
One of those art packs one of the art pencil boxes is actually a flask.
I'm sniffing the markers. I'm just sniffing the markers.
Give me a couple of those.
No.
So, yeah, I'm not going to promote that because
I'm not going to promote that.
So far, I'm beyond the pale. It's just
next week on the show. Not Megan Fox.
I don't know. Everybody watching the show though is drunk, so
yeah,
they might buy this one. I had weird claims Megan Fox on the show. Oh my God! All right, so I'm sorry, I missed the best offer book. Believe it or not, I missed two, as a matter of fact. All right, so the other best offer book is The Green Hornet Year 1, Number 1, signed by Alex Ross. And it is a best offer book starting at 100.
Got it. It's the got it needed pile. Got it.
All right. So that's also Josh went bring the security guy back.
Bring the security guy back.
I need adult supervision.
You did a little 62 lefty. Welcome back, buddy. But we can revisit that.
This Rex on football.
All right, and then the last best offer book of the night. Daredevil number 8, signed by Mark Waid. And it is a best offer book starting at $19.64. And it is number 4 of 20.
Very nice.
All right. So that does take care of the best offers.
Kenneth, this message. He was asking about a signed book or something.
Yeah, Ken, I'm gonna have to look, buddy. I don't know off the top of my head there.
Ken, I'll tell you what a good thing to do is, just because I know how busy Rex is. Shoot him an email. Like a specific question or whatever, because it's kind of hard to look into it, like where we're live streaming the show or whatever. Just shoot him an email, rex.lang@dynamite.com, and then. This way he can kind of, look into it for you.
All right. So 62 lefty. Yeah, no. I mean, look, as an Eagle fan, I got to be pretty happy. I believe that there will be a Cowboy QB controversy coming up. Robbie disagrees with me because he has faith in Dak. Not sure why. But we'll see what happens there. Jets win. Jets, Jets. Nice to see them win one. That was a good game, too. We talked a little bit about Tua, obviously, and the tragedy there. That's an awful thing to happen. I hope his career is not over. But, I mean, I think that's something everybody has to seriously consider at this point.
The fingers crossing.
Yeah, that's really, yeah.
When you start losing control of extremities and stuff like that, and hopefully that's not the case, but you know what I mean? Yeah. It didn't look good.
Yeah, and weird. I got to admit, the lines are something else, dude. They can't get out of their own way. I guess good news is Goff's, chewing up the yards in the air. But I would say another one is the Seahawks. It's nice to see Geno Smith get a kind of revival, but he's out there playing against the opponent's defense and his own defense. I mean, how many points did he have to put up to win that game? I mean, their defense can't stop anybody. So that's definitely problematic. Looks like the Seahawks made the right decision, parting ways with
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson. He's not having a very good time in Denver. That's for sure. So that makes Seahawks look smart. Obviously,
well, he might be having trouble adjusting to the offense or something too. I mean,
at this level, dude, you should be running the offense, not adjusting the offense.
He's having trouble adjusting to the altitude, I'm sure, being in Denver. So
I think I don't know. I look at it this way. I realize now through all the years that for Philadelphia, it certainly wasn't Donovan McNabb. He turned a talented quarterback into a contender. And when you look around it, you look at the Seahawks, and all of a sudden, Geno Smith, chased out of New York Jets, the destroyer of quarterbacks, and goes to the Seahawks and has a revival. I think it's awesome. That says that hats off to the coach. We talk about Belichick and Brady all the time, and who really was the GOAT. In that instance, I'd say Brady was, really, to be quite honest. But you look at Andy Reid and the success he's had, and what he did with McNabb. I mean, I just, good coach can make all that difference. Let's see, Preston, when I heard Wilson leads team to comeback, I wasn't thinking the Jets. Yeah, right. That's for sure.
Mariano, it's kind of neat to actually be, we sat down, and what this book was when we sat down. And I think I mentioned this last week.
That's with his 20-minute story about Megan Fox, too.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool, though.
It's
very, very cool.
I still can't believe it happened, but it happened.
See, with creators work this fast, I don't understand how deadlines are missed.
Hey, can Joe Del Beato do a Megan Fox cover for us?
Oh, I'm sure he can. The heck with Joe. I can do it.
Yeah, no, definitely, Jay. No, absolutely. It's really cool to watch this, in process, so to speak, and watch Mariano, kind of fill in the colors. It brings it to life. So, all right. So next up, we did the Green Hornet to make John happy. So next up, we've got Batman Prelude to the Wedding, Nightwing versus Hush #1, signed and silver by Tim Seeley. Suggested retail of $69.99. It is number 6 of 60, and we have one available for $27. All right.
One of them is an imposter. I wonder which one.
Yeah.
Oh, Geoffrey Gwynn. Hey, what's going on, my man? Thank you for joining us.
Geoffrey is with us.
Geoffrey is with us. All right. And we do have a piece by Geoffrey tonight. It is also a sketch cover.
Nice.
All right. And it's Absolute Carnage #1, blank variant, signed with a cover sketch by Geoffrey Gwynn.
Wow.
And I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Super talented guy.
His attorney will be sending you a letter if you're not.
Well, then they need to copy Mariano because
That's an awesome cover. That screen. That's freaking fantastic.
So suggested retail of $89.99, and it is one of our 5-star books at $50. So yeah, this was super.
Yeah,
cool.
Nick had some of his art on Friday, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. 4-cover connecting set, I believe, right, Mark?
Yes.
Yes.
In the future, all covers will be 4 and connecting. One cover isn't going to cut it anymore. Some of you artists are going to have to, level up.
That's enough out of you, mister.
So yeah, no kidding, right? So we're mixing it up. Obviously we're bringing new sketch covers on the air. Obviously Ken Hazer is a bit backed up. We found, actually Mariano's been the point person on this project. Really appreciate it. Working with Geoffrey and obviously with Joe Del Beato as well. Coming on the air and doing this stuff.
Look at that, man. Black and white.
So that is also available. So we have tonight, we have the 2+ Geoffrey's piece.
Yeah, one of us remembered Preston. That was good.
I think that's the first time I ever heard Mariano curse, actually, to be quite honest.
Ask him to keep signing books. You'll hear him curse.
Cool. So Geoffrey, thanks for joining us, man. That's pretty cool.
Yes, thanks for joining us.
So Geoffrey is also obviously a very talented artist and creator. If you guys got any questions for him, throw it up in the chat.
Yeah.
All right.
We've been super fortunate. We've had a few creators that have taken time out to join the show. I
get your glasses ready, people. Here it comes.
I'm just saying we've had Geoffrey join the show. Ken has joined the show.
Mm-hmm,
we had Dave Avalon pop into the show before. We had Dave Acosta pop into the show before. That's for them to, when you consider the hours these guys work to meet their deadlines, I think it's kind of nice when someone bombs in for
Right. I agree. So always greatly appreciate it to the creators that take the time to watch. All right, Ron, you got it, buddy.
That's a
so
great
Ron
pickup.
is claiming it. All right, so that one is gone.
That's beautiful.
Congratulations.
Yeah, Ron, that is a.
All right, so that one is out of here. All right, thank you. But other than that, anything interesting happened in anybody's weekend? Anybody run into Megan Fox or
no?
You, Robbie, did you run into Megan Fox?
Well, this is Robbie
no,
time of year, man.
This is Robbie time of year.
This is Robbie time of year. The second hour we'll begin talking horror movies.
All right, so hold up. And Weird asked this question earlier. All right.
Have I seen any good new movies? The truth is, there have not been a lot of releases. We're sort of like in the
lull.
In the lull, you know. Like I sat in the theater one day and I watched Barbarian. I went and got lunch. I came back and I watched it again. I understand that there's a lot of buzz around this movie. People liked it or whatever. It just didn't connect with me. It just really didn't. You know, it was well made or whatever, but it just.
What movie is that?
Yeah, I don't know the movie.
The name is odd. It's.
I've heard it was good. I've heard it was really good, but
the dangers of Airbnb, I guess, and it had some elements. Clerks 3, I saw 2 days in a row.
Mariano, Ron wants to know who the exact character is on the Absolute Carnage.
That's Scream.
Yeah, I think it's.
Her name is Scream.
Yeah, and it's Scream.
Scream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scream it is.
All right. Josh, thank you, buddy.
Like the Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson song.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, this is a time of year where I guess they have to kind of take a knee, right? You had the super busy summer and a few things have come out. There's particularly at Regal, there is a ton of re-releases. Asking me to see Avatar again, stop. I have no interest in seeing Avatar. It's sequel.
What?
No.
Well, there's some good horror movies out right now. Like Pearl is out, and
Pearl I've seen. I was just about to get to that. Pearl I've seen a bunch of times.
Prequel to X, and I've heard that Smile movie is really, really good.
I got to tell you right now, I've seen that twice. That movie's disturbing. It's very good. I recommend everybody see it if you're a horror fan. But you know, it's disturbing. It's real disturbing. I think, and I'm sure Robbie feels this way sometimes too. When you've watched horror for a lot of years, you're kind of like, I've seen everything, right? Or everything's derivative of something else. They really kind of nailed something that I think is fairly unique here. I don't remember seeing anything quite like this done quite this way before. I would tell everyone, absolutely shoot out for that. Yeah, and the marketing was strong for Smile too, but it's really good.
And if you're a horror movie fan, this Friday is a big deal to a lot of us because you get Werewolf by Night from the MCU, and the early word is that that's really good, and like an homage to like the 30s and 40s Universal classics.
Yep.
You've got the new Hellraiser debuting on Hulu, and that looks amazing and is getting a lot of hype. And the new Dario Argento movie debuts on Shudder called Dark.
I know you're a big fan.
Yeah, so I'm really, really pumped. It's going to be a busy weekend. I'm telling you that.
So it's our weekly pop for Shudder. Go get Shudder. It's like I don't care how many.
So what are you doing? All right. So do you have the Horror Fest tonight?
Yes, we do.
All right. What is the movie? Tell us.
It was actually a movie I never even heard of. It's an A24 film from 2015. It won our movie poll that we do every year, and it's called Green Room. So it's about this punk.
Stewart.
Yeah, with Patrick Stewart. It's about this punk band that winds up playing at a club owned by a bunch of neo-Nazis, and they witness something they shouldn't, and then they get trapped in the green room in this fight for survival with a bunch of neo-Nazis. It was a really good movie. I'm excited to talk about it tonight. So
cool, very cool. So that's at 9 Eastern, right? 8
That's
Central.
right. That's right.
All right, on Robbie's channel. Make sure to check it out.
A lot of Star Trek fans checked it out because it's Patrick Stewart. Some Star Trek fans are not quite like. Green Room is a very good movie. I would recommend everybody see it. Robbie will go into it tonight, so I'm not going to say too much. But again, it's a little bit disturbing content. And I think when people are watching Next Generation, they figure, I'm just going to pop over and see this Green Room. Fair warning, that's quite a gear shift there. You know what I mean? It's not. I
think people have to realize that Patrick Stewart had a pretty prolific Shakespearean kind of career.
He was Sejanus and I Claudius?
Yeah, I mean, prior to Star Trek, which obviously kind of, I mean, he more or less broke free from it, but a lot of others did not from Next Gen.
Oh, you've got a bunch of people that probably see him as Professor X more than they see him as Captain Picard.
Right. I would agree with that. I would agree with that statement. So, Marcus, what's going on, buddy? So Halloween. This is Robbie's time of year. Big horror fan.
Yeah, you know it. I love horror movies so much, and Horror Fest is one of my favorite things to do. We're also doing Werewolf by Night on Friday night. Like, we have a bonus episode that we're doing for that. Gotcha. And you can always catch me on Dylan's Horror Show on Saturday nights, where it's Horror Fest every week. Like, it's nonstop there. But I really love diving into these movies. I love genre fiction in general, but horror in particular, that's my jam.
Don't we get Halloween Ends this week too? Or do I have the date wrong?
Halloween Ends is in like a week or two. It's not this week, but it's coming very, very soon. I don't know about that one. I haven't been the biggest fan of those movies, to be honest, but.
Two Gun, what's going on, man?
I hate to say it, but I sound like the old man in the room, probably because I'm the old man in the room. But I love the original Halloween. The original movies with Jamie Lee Curtis were really cool. And since then, they've tried, and occasionally some of them are kind of good, but I think sometimes you just can't get lightning in the bottle.
Well, a lot of these horror movies, they just, that hooked on, like Friday the 13th, Halloween, they just beat it to death.
We did that with Nightmare on Elm Street too.
Yeah.
Robert
I'm actually watching through those right now. I'm watching through them because that's our big finale for Horror Fest, is all of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. And I know they overstay their welcome sometimes. They're just making the same movie over and over. Look at all 12 of the Friday the 13th movies.
Yep.
But I love that. I like, sometimes it's fun. And what's interesting is when you do these deep dives, say like once every while, you watch all the Halloween movies, you watch all the Friday 13th ones. Well, the ones that are not so good, sometimes you have a different experience and you like them one time. Like, I don't know, maybe you've had enough shots because Mariano and John keep name dropping or something, but like those are good movies to like hang out when you're trying to get loose with your friends and loved ones and just relax and laugh at some ridiculousness on the screen.
I would agree with that.
Last several years I've gone to, costume parties, friends at Halloween bashes, and everybody's got a flat screen against the wall, and it's either the Halloween movies, Friday the 13th movies, the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Just, you know what I mean? Just on a loop. People love these things. There's nothing better than sitting around and then people have memories. You know what I mean? Like, what were you doing when Alice Cooper was in, a Friday the 13th movie? Like, especially if you're old, it immediately, takes you back to that. And Jeffrey, you're right. Jason X is terrible, but I loved it. I watch it all the time.
I love that movie so much. My favorite Jason kill is in that movie when he dumps that woman's head into the like the cryo freeze and then smashes it. Oh my goodness. I love it. He's not even awake in the beginning of that movie and he cuts that dude's arm off. Do you remember that? Like his arm falls out. Or he's not even awake. He's not even conscious. He's cutting limbs off of people.
He's cutting limbs off already. And speaking of Halloween, when we mentioned Halloween, they brought Jamie Lee Curtis back, and that made me want to like those movies. And I don't think that has anything to do with Jamie Lee Curtis, but they just can't, they can't get, and they've done this, they've tried to get this moment 3 times now, right? I guess everybody wants the story to end where Jamie Lee Curtis finally kills Michael Myers, right?
But that's why I think H2O was the perfect way. Like, I love the H2O. Yeah. Like, that's a good movie. It's so solid. It's one of the worst Michael masks in the entire franchise. Like, for some reason they can't get that mask right again. Like they've never been able to
or something. It was awful.
Yeah. It's so weird. You should never be able to see his eyes clearly either. But I really like H2O, and that was a perfect ending. And then they just ruined it with Resurrection, man.
You can't. And then like Rob Zombie jumps in there, and Rob Zombie. If you're a certain age, you've kind of grown up with Rob Zombie horror, whatever. He's done comics, blah blah blah. He jumped into that, and everybody was like, "Oh, Rob Zombie's jumping into Halloween." No, that wasn't there.
He should have done Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's more of his vibe.
That's exactly more of
House of a Thousand Corpses is basically TCM. But speaking of Rob Zombie, has any of y'all seen The Munsters yet? Because I'm hearing that's a train wreck.
I heard it was. Did we talk about this on Friday on your show?
No, I don't think we did. Because we were talking about football movies.
Somebody said, "Oh, that's right." Somebody said it was horrible, just horrible. What did you think?
I haven't seen it, but that's what I've heard. I've heard it's just so bad. Some people it's like, oh no, it's campy and it's fun. But most people that I know have watched it and they hated it. They hated it.
It is campy.
I just gotta say that I don't know, that era of remakes, there's a limit. I tried to remake Starsky and Hutch. That didn't work,
Oh, see, I thought that was funny.
I didn't.
That was
I didn't. It kind of just went. All right, so it's weird.
Rob
I guess
Zombie. Rob Zombie should have done Starsky and Hutch. That would have been the
big skull on the car. That would have been perfect.
So I guess it's weird to have seen the Munsters because he said it was horrible. Hey, Brian Weaver, thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, Here's the problem. I like both Rob Zombie and I like the Munsters, like the black and white show. I love the old show. And I get where he was sort of trying to go, but it's a tough watch. It's a real tough watch. It's
like Addams Family worked as a remake, but I don't know.
There's a way you can remake the Munsters, and they kind of tried. I think in 2010 or 2011, NBC did something called Mockingbird Lane.
Yeah, with Eddie Izzard as Grandpa Munster.
Yeah, and I think they did not give that a chance. If I think they would have given that a little bit more time, you go back and you can watch them on NBC.com or something. I don't know. But if you go back and see it, even YouTube has them. If you go back and look, there was sort of an idea there that I think really could have been taken by Rob Zombie and put in this movie.
Right.
Whereas this was just sort of, not to mention, there's a certain, you have to have a certain physical acting ability to be Herman Munster or Frankenstein for that matter. And I understand the actor he selected, he's worked with before, they're tight or whatever. He just didn't have it. It's just not sort of, they even tried to put him in the Bernie Wrightson fur vest or whatever. It didn't work. It just, and of course, if people watched it and they like it, I'm glad you watched it and you liked it. It wasn't there.
Well,
break
I
time,
would say that. What's that?
Is it break time?
It is.
Break time.
All right, so we're going to go to our next break, and we'll be back, and then we'll go back to the Mariano cam and check out
this looks good already.
Dormammu and Clea.
I might keep this one. I might keep the Clea Strange one.
All right, so stay with us. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Thanks for tuning into The Experience. Help us out and hit subscribe over on YouTube and click the bell when you do. Need some help? Scan the QR code in the bottom corner. Who would win, Batman or Superman? It's the age-old debate, except it's so much more complicated than that. Nerd Killer Warfare every week on The Experience is your chance to debate other nerds in the questions we've all been asking for years, except we take those debates and turn them up to 11. Go to bit.ly/EXP casting or scan the QR code to be part of the show.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit ComicShopLocator.com to find a store near you.
You're watching The Experience Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Ron did. All right.
So Ronald. So if you want it colored, we got to pay Mariano something.
No, I'm doing it all for free. Don't be ridiculous.
So let's do an extra $10 so that Mariano, after PayPal fees, can get $9.60.
That's so nice. That's so nice.
If Ronald's okay with that, then we can work on that.
All right. So
Mariano, that is beautiful. You know what I love about that? You and Joe really put in the essence. It's a mix of Steve Ditko and Paul Smith.
Yep. Got it, Ron. All right, buddy.
Dormammu?
No, for Clea.
Yeah.
That's a nice mix of Paul Smith and Steve Ditko.
I'm inspired by Charlize Theron.
I think Charlize Theron, and she is a fantastic actress.
She is.
And incredibly stunning.
And one of my favorites.
She was inspired by Clea.
That's true.
Boy.
Isn't that amazing the way it's full circle?
Did I just drop another name?
No, but she is.
No, but you didn't say you knew them. That's
true.
You didn't say you ran into them. You didn't
That's
say
true.
You didn't say you found their coffee cup after they discarded it.
All true. All true.
All right, so let's take a look at the Dormammu one.
All right, Mariano gets
nice.
another $9.60.
Nice.
All right, so Doctor Strange #1 blank variant cover signed with Dormammu cover, sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. I wish we could.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
If I get up to hold these to the camera, he's going to be disturbed from art.
Yeah, I know.
Can you get around the other way?
No.
Wait, what are we doing?
Way too many wires.
Oh no, you know what? The whatchamacallit camera can see it.
Yeah, it can, but it's just not big enough. All right.
We don't have the statue?
No. Well, the statue's
No, he
another
just
thing.
wanted to get a bigger image of the colored Doctor Strange.
You know what? Maybe we can ask. Hey, Amy, could you help us out for a minute here? All right, maybe we get Amy has a direct.
Amy to the rescue.
She's so sick of us bothering her.
Hey, do you mind? Two things. Can you just take a picture of the box and send it to Jay? And maybe we could scan the full color version of Dormammu and send it to Jay.
Did you
as
get
well.
the text I sent you before?
Is there anything else you guys want?
Well, I want people to see the art because they can see
You know
the
what? You
drawing.
should
but it
probably
looks-
hire an admin like we have one. So you can.
I
So just
don't
to see the
recall
picture?
seeing any
Yeah,
pizza
because whatever
on the
happened
show.
to the picture we sent
Speaking
off
of, is there
the
anything
site,
else we
That
want?
was the best picture on the site.
probably
Actually,
put that
had the
9-6
I would
fine.
just take a picture.
Towards the pie.
By the
yeah.
way, if you haven't hit that thumbs
It's a
up
black
yet,
and white
please.
one though, so I don't know.
Yeah, just take that
I
one
just-
with all the pictures. That one.
All right.
Everybody, please hit that thumbs up if you haven't yet.
All right, so the Doctor Strange #1 blank variant signed with Dormammu cover sketch is suggested retail of $149.99, and we have the one available, obviously, because he's coloring it right now, or he just did.
I just hit thumbs up on my phone and my computer.
For $75.
Did you hit
All
thumbs
right.
up yet, John?
I did.
Okay.
So it is still available. No one has picked it up yet. All right.
It's a great cover.
And it is, and he is currently doing Clea.
Wow, I really like
because
this
he's
one.
got a super crush on Charlize Theron.
This is true.
Yeah, we know. You've mentioned
It
it.
sounds
So
like a
we'll see
cheating on
her-
Megan Fox. That's
We'll
not
see
good.
her next year, Claire.
No, it's 2 years from now.
2 years from now or next year? We'll
I think it's 2 years.
Yeah.
probably 2 years from now.
I have to wait 2 years.
Oh, it's okay. You can rewatch one of her old movies, buddy.
It's a tragedy.
You'll be okay.
It's a tragedy.
Atomic Blonde. That's what everybody should be
Yeah,
watching.
that was a good movie.
I
That
love
was a good
Atomic
movie, yes.
Blonde.
That
Was
was
there
a
another
fun
thing you
movie.
needed? I don't
Oh
remember.
yeah, Amy, do you mind
Is there anything else I can do for you guys?
scanning the completed Dormammu and sending it to Jay? Thank you.
And let us know
We
when
appreciate
the pizza gets
it.
here.
Yeah,
Pizza.
that might be a while.
Yeah, there's leftover from Friday in fridge if you want, Mariana. I can microwave it for if
Don't
you'd like
give
it to
anybody
break.
any
Yeah,
ideas.
micro. Oh,
Don't give anybody any ideas.
please.
If there's a kryptonite for John, it's the microwave.
Oh, no.
John believes that the microwave should be eliminated
The
as
only
the
thing that should be going in there is popcorn for kids. As an adult, you should be making popcorn in a pot.
well, no, I warmed those little sipper Campbell soup thingies.
Oh no.
I tell you what,
chemicals and radiation.
I use a microwave, often enough, but like I just had some pizza over the weekend, and I always put that in my air fryer or my oven. It's just so much better. You can't crisp anything in the microwave, no matter what.
That's true.
That's really my biggest problem. It just kind of kills texture, which is why I tell people all the time: you microwave. Like if you're just looking to do something real quick and you don't have time for the oven, most air fryers, bang, it goes.
You have to admit, baked potatoes.
I do baked potatoes in the microwave.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do that. It takes like 12 minutes as opposed to.
Go ahead, Mariano. What's your opinion?
In the 50s and 60s, cigarettes, tobacco, no problem. Smoke your lungs away. Now we look back and look at everything that came out about tobacco. I think the exact same thing's going to happen with microwaves. We're going to learn that we've been poisoning ourselves.
All right. So as a disclaimer to everyone, okay, just so you realize that the thoughts and opinions of Mariano Nicieza are not necessarily the
there
thoughts
goes
and
that
beliefs
KitchenAid
of the
sponsorship.
EXP.
Well, I just want to throw in one more thing. Birds aren't real, okay? Like, why are they on these power lines? Because they're recharging, okay? I'm just going to add that. So there you go.
Wait, what's not real?
Birds are not real. They're surveillance devices.
Power lines.
All right. Well, listen, buddy, your tinfoil hat is just a little too small compared to Mariano's. Wait until I get Mariano started about the pole shift.
Oh, well, don't get me started about 5G. So.
Oh, no, but Mariano's is one I have not heard before, okay, about the pole shift.
Since I got my
vaccine. We're due for one, right?
My Wi-Fi has been much better.
The what?
We're overdue for a pole shift.
That is correct, sir.
Yeah.
We'll save it. We'll save we'll save the whole thing for next week's segment.
Santa's home in New Jersey, and I'd be happy that those poles shift.
So what does that have to do with you being vaccinated?
No, we were talking about 5G.
You're vaccinated from 5G?
No, I was vaccinated.
I'm vaccinated from 5G. I'll tell you that.
Preston, John is a fan of Jiffy Pop popcorn, but I'm old, so I'm a fan of the real Jiffy Pop popcorn where you turn on the
popcorn popper at home.
I do. I have two actually. You turn it on and you hold it over the fire.
Yes. The problem with that was my arm would always get tired because you're supposed to keep it moving.
The other problem was it would get hot. Like if kids would just do stuff with it. And the story of me as a little kid, my dad and I used to do this thing. My mom would go away. We'd watch scary movies at night when I was supposed to be asleep. We'd always do the Jiffy Pop. One time he forgot and he's like, quick, do it real fast. I threw it in the oven. I turned the oven on because I'm a kid. I don't know. I turn the oven on as high and I close it. We start watching the movie. We forget about it. All of a sudden, there's that sound. Boom! My dad goes racing up the stairs because we had a little TV room downstairs. Looks in the kitchen, smoke everywhere, whatever opens the windows. For 3 months, every time my mother made something, all you smelled was popcorn. My father wound up having to buy her a new oven.
You know what my problem is?
No amount of cleaning would get rid of the smell from the compressed Jiffy Pop.
John, I got a question. I got a question for you, John, because I've tried to make my own popcorn. And usually it's just something like get the oil, get the salt, get the kernels and just put it on the stove, right? And do that, kind of put it in a pot. But it always is stale tasting or hard or just dry. And I can't never get the seasoning to actually infuse the popcorn, if that makes sense. And if you try to melt butter and put it on it, it just wilts it away. What's the best way to do it and make it have a good experience? Almost I don't know, a movie theater or something.
For me personally, the way I do it in my house is extremely unhealthy, but also extremely flavorful. I usually get local corn because here in Jersey, corn is a thing. I get local popping corn. It goes in a pot. I don't use oil. I use lard. And the lard
Didn't they politically change that name to shortening now?
It's lard. Trust me, it's lard. I get lard from an Amish
Crisco,
place
baby,
in Mullica Hill, and a big fistful of salt and pepper and black peppercorns. You let it go. I have had real good results with that. I used an old cast iron pan, really for nothing else because it's just kind of ugly and beat up or whatever. I certainly wouldn't say it's great or whatever. And I know a lot of people pour butter over it. Butter is good. My suggestion is to pour bacon fat over it.
Ooh, whoa. Ooh,
You know, you see
that
people
sounds
moving.
good.
You're saying pop it in lard and then add bacon fat on top of
He
it.
did say, he did warn us ahead of time
He
that it
did.
was super unhealthy.
It's not healthy. Obviously, you look at me and I'm like, most wanted from the
Man,
American
that sounds
Heart
good though,
Association.
doesn't it?
I think I think I'll just make nachos if I was going to go that deep.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, in order for me to get popcorn the way I like it, and I'm making it, I wind up making something else. Exactly what you said. If I start going to all that effort, then we wind up with nachos or queso or something that,
I have to say, the best popcorn I had growing up, long before the days of the microwave, was this little popcorn popper that my mom bought.
Was it the yellow one that looked like a spaceship?
Well, it was kind of
like Presto.
Yeah, I think so. So it's completely round with the yellow plastic cover and with it was like some sort of nonstick, I guess. And you put a little oil in it and the kernel corns in the middle thing, and it would just pop. But the Jiffy Pop, my problem with Jiffy Pop right now is, and I haven't bought any, when they convert it over, it used to always be a foil pan and everything. Then they switch to that plastic.
Yeah.
And that doesn't seem right to me, dude. I fire plastic bad. Okay. I mean, how is that thing not melting?
Plus, these things just give off weird odors and smells. Robbie brought up a good point. A lot of times, depending on what your popcorn was in or whatever, you kind of get this weird off-putting taste. You get one of the things I do is after I add the bacon fat, I will dump it in a big bowl and I will put in a box of Whoppers and toss it. And the heat from the popcorn makes the Whoppers a little bit melty. And the chocolate will also, and the bacon fat also cover any sort of off-put flavor.
That's interesting.
You get. I saw somebody else that they put in, Reese's Pieces. There's all kinds of blend-ins for popcorn now.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So, Ron, you're
M&Ms
claiming
is
the
a big
clear.
one, yeah.
Gotcha, buddy. All right. So, I'm going to put you down because I haven't even read that one off.
I gotta tell
That
you,
one is
Ron,
also
this is so
75, buddy.
Hey, Rex,
Yes, sir.
real fast. How does this one look?
Why is it? It's okay. I guess.
It's like Vampirella in a funhouse. It's sort of
That's like a 70-year-old that just got a 4K TV.
I know, right?
Like
Vampirella
I wanted to fill the whole screen.
You know what? We may just
Because here's the one I got.
Yeah, that's fine. All right.
That one's fine.
Yeah, that's a good image. That's fine.
That's a
there.
good image.
All right, so that's the side of the box. The one in the box is, I believe, the variant edition. Let's see.
It's the black and white.
It's the black and white. You sure? It's not sure. It's the black and white. No, it's this
Oh
one.
no, I'm sorry. It's the black.
Okay,
It's the
so
black costume.
It's the black costume. So it is the one in the middle. Okay. All right. And I would say it probably stands. I don't know how large the base is, but it probably stands, would you say, 7 inches?
You know what? I will look and I don't think it says it
no,
on here.
I
But
think
yeah,
it
it
says
can't
it
be
on
much
there.
higher than 7 inches.
So it stands about 7 inches tall.
Ron just said that John's on the American Heart Association's most wanted list.
They've got agents looking
You're
for
like,
them
you
all the
can't be
time.
telling people to cook your popcorn in lard and cover in bacon fat and chocolate.
Does
Dude.
sound a little crazy, doesn't it?
We're playing this drinking game, which is far more unhealthful, I would say, than. But although yes,
Well, I would cater tailgates for like the average person tailgates when they make their own food. Not to be mean, but wealthy people don't do that. They hire somebody else, a barbecue team, they hire whatever. I would make these kinds of food that was just crazy over the top. And people, oh my God, how unhealthy is this? And my response is always, I'm your caterer, not your cardiologist.
Yeah.
You're paying me to make your food really good. I only know so many ways to make food really good.
Lard,
You know what I mean?
bacon fat, chocolate.
Bacon fat, lard, real Amish butter that's still that like real yellow color. I see butter in the supermarket. It's almost white.
yes.
And then I go visit my friends, the Amish in Mullica Hill, and like the eggs too. Everything is super pale. My eggs are that nice yellow.
He's done a
orange
lot of
color.
He's done a lot of Amish drops. Does that count as one name drop? Maybe like just the
I don't even know if
Amish.
they're-
No,
Okay.
I
Okay.
can't. Well, Rupenstein, we will have the red one. You know what? I might put both Dawn and Vampirella on the next show, buddy. All right. Put a whole bunch up there. But you're looking for the red.
He's looking
Gotcha.
for the red.
I got you, bud.
See,
So if I want
love-
movie theater popcorn, John, you're basically telling me to get a movie theater popcorn maker.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I just, because I've had friends over the years and they're like asking me for tips, and it just, it's sort of like, I love movie theater popcorn. My first response, usually laughingly, is go to the movies. And then the other one is if you're seriously into it and it's your thing, they have units from the movie theaters. A lot of times they're on eBay, theater closes, or they're upgrading.
Or you can buy the little kitschy small one that people like to put in their movie theaters and stuff like that.
Pan at the bottom and a thing at the top. I mean, everybody's seen them. They kind of have glass sides.
See, the thing is, though, John, I worked at a movie theater, so I know how good that stuff is, and I know the proper ratio of oil and salt. Yep. But I know what they are like to clean. So that's why I don't want to get one of those things.
Jay, go ahead and throw that up, please. Yes, sir. That'd be cool. Oh, wow. All right. So this is the finished product.
Gorgeous.
This is Doctor Strange #1 blank variant signed with Dormammu, cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. This is the last one. This is the last sketch cover we have available for the show.
I just love the hatching used there for the shadow at the bottom. Yeah. I think that's so cool looking. It's like today's Mobius Monday, actually. So it's kind of Mobius like those marks.
So actually, Jay, can you kind of throw up a split screen or just flip back and forth between the black and white and the colored version?
First time I saw that kind of cross hatching was a Bill Everett piece that he did of Submariner and Human Torch.
Oh, wow.
Back in, I don't know when, it's in the 70s sometime.
Okay.
Oh, wait, where? In the Steranko, one of the Steranko History of Comics books. It was a full page.
Those are so good.
Yeah, that was a full page splash of Bill Everett, Submariner versus Human Torch.
All right, so this is the last sketch cover we have for the night. The other two have been claimed. All right, that's super cool. All right, so we got a few more books we can squeeze in before we got to go to the next break. All right, we have Giant Size Astonishing X-Men #1 signed by John Cassaday, and we have one #4 of 37 for one available for $39.
I've heard a lot of people say that John Cassaday stuff can feel a bit stiff at times. Not this one. This is one of the most explosive superhero covers I've ever seen from him. And I love his work. I think he's a good artist, by the way.
Really great composition, too.
I guess maybe I don't know enough about art. I've heard that comment a lot. And I guess I just don't see it, because I'm looking at, I'm trying to think of the first thing I saw that really jumped my eye with him, other than he did Lone Ranger for Dynamite, but before that,
he did Planetary. Planetary is phenomenal.
Planetary, that was it. Thank you. I was trying to think. And I just, there was like a dynamism in that art, and the people like, oh, it looks kind of stiff, and okay, art is different things for different people, but for me, I didn't see it. I thought there was like an artistic realism to a lot of what he did.
What's amazing about Planetary, like the way that they structured that was like, especially for the first 12 or so issues, each issue is a different genre, and he adapts his style to the genre, which I love. Yeah. I think it's absolutely amazing.
Planetary, and that's also a property I'm surprised it's sort of, for lack of a better term, disappeared. In this age with streaming shows and all this other stuff, I would think something like Planetary would really work. I'm guessing that's a DC property?
Yeah, it's DC. But you're right. They never did anything because they continued to do things with the Authority. They continue to do stuff with all that other, but they don't plan. I wonder if it almost makes me wonder if Ellis had some kind of deal like don't touch it. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like Gaiman had.
I mean, it might be so. I of all those properties, and I'm not hammering, Stormwatch or any of the other things. I thought the Authority, their character, I always thought Planetary was I enjoyed that the most. And like Robbie just said, everything else sort of seemed to move one way or another. I guess now you've got characters from the Authority in just the DC continuity, right?
Yes, you do.
Midnighter
and that's why it's so surprising that they've never used the drummer or Jaquita again or Elijah Snow. But that book maintains an evergreen quality to me, and that just it's one of my favorite comics of all time is Planetary.
I love Planetary. You know what? You might be right. I'm going to have to kind of peek around a little bit and see if anybody has any sort of like definitive, like was there a deal that, okay, no, you can't touch this, or I want to keep this, or it's just odd. I mean, I think, and if you guys don't know what we're talking about, go find it. Go find it somewhere. Planetary is a great read. Warren Ellis, John Cassaday, really just it's a little bit more for like the seasoned reader, which I really like. I understand publishers are always like, treat everybody like it's day one or whatever. And in this case, they're just assuming a certain amount of experience on your part, which I appreciate.
All right. So, you know what? We're going to throw up one last book before we got to go to our last final break. And this one in honor of Halloween. And this one's for you, Robbie. We have Dracula #3, signed and remarked by Colton Worley. Let me say, is this one remarked? This one is not remarked. I don't know why it says remarked on it.
It's remarked, but it's Dracula's reflection is what it is.
Nice.
All right. So we've got this one. It is not remarked, by the way, just to be clearly. So signed by Colton Worley, and it is a perfect 10 read at $10. Suggested retail of $29.99. We have one available at that price.
Colton Worley is that guy that if you need something from like the 1890s, he's the first person I call. Because if you look at what he did in Sherlock Holmes and Houdini, he did, if I remember correctly, he did some of the covers and stuff for Prophecy, which was back in 2012. And you know what I mean? He just sort of, I talked about this before. I understand a lot of people are like, every artist should be able to do everything. Sure. I never would. Some people just seem to like have a better vibe for something. Right. You know what I mean? Like a guy like Ed McGuinness, I really don't want to see him doing like horror. You know what I mean? Ed McGuinness is made to do a superhero cover where somebody's getting punched in the face.
I think the only horror comic he could do would maybe be The Stuff. I think he'd be good at that.
That's a great ad. It's true. And in this case, I would love to see, I don't know what he's doing now. I would love to see him do, something set in that era again. Maybe get the publisher in here so we can ask for more Sherlock Holmes.
Why don't you go in his office? How about that?
That door is closed. Oh God, is he asking for more books? Wow.
All right, let's throw up a Dynamite book.
Rubenstein just pointed out Planetary is a good sale on Comixology right now for those of you that are digitally inclined.
So we got Siren's Gate #1, Shannon Mayer Virgin cover. It's just retail of $50, and we have the one available for $40.
This is Wednesday.
Yes, this week I got so much hype building at my shop right now. We were getting just an influx of calls over the last 2 weeks of people being like, I want to make sure I get that Shannon Mayer book. I want to make sure I get that book. This is going to be a big hit.
Really powerful covers on Wednesday.
All right. So it's time for our last and final break. Stay with us. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Should I jump into?
Hey, it's producer Kyle. If you like going places where the action never stops, like Las Vegas, the Caribbean, and Atlantic City, then you're probably not who I want to talk to. But if you want to surround yourself with amazing comic books and comic book content made by a devoted group of smart and funny industry insiders, the Experience Members Club was made for you. You can join the Experience by becoming a supporting member of our YouTube channel. You get access to exclusive content that no one else gets, like members-only live streams, pre-sales, one-on-one Q&As with production staff, and other content that's exclusively for members. Plus, for a limited time, if you sign up now, you'll be entered into our giveaway of a slabbed comic book. Just call this it's 2022. No one makes phone calls anymore. Scan the QR code at the bottom of the screen, or just visit the membership section of our YouTube page, and you'll be on the VIP line of the comic book buffet, baby. Look at the size of those perks. Join today, and I'll be saying, who loves you, baby? Me. The answer is me.
Imagine being at a convention and going to an interview panel that's just for you. No bustling crowds, no hours-long lines, just you, the moderator, and your favorite comic book creators. Well, this is pretty much that. Miss Jen sits down every week with 2 comic book creators for a live stream interview about their latest work, and you can ask them whatever you want. It's Talking Shop, Mondays at 5 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
Get the inside scoop on everything happening at The Experience every week. Join our mailing list by scanning the QR code at the bottom of the screen and then watching your email inbox.
Hey everybody, I'm David Boer, the writer of Canto, Killer Queens, and All New Firefly, and you are watching The Experience.
We're back, and my two co-hosts disappeared. So it's just
I
me
was
and
like,
Robbie.
what just happened? Did the rapture just happen, Rex? Is it just me and you?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I guess they don't know the signal for when the show's coming back.
This is how that movie Left Behind started.
Before, I'm not drawing anything.
Well, they haven't had a shot in like.
I just needed a vodka refill.
They haven't had a shot in half an hour.
That's why it's in the styrofoam cup.
It'll eat right through the styrofoam cup. All right, so
Mariano and I went to catch a 9:00 movie. Bye.
All right, so let's do another book while we're waiting on Mariano. Spider-Woman #5, Peach Momoko, variant cover, CGC graded, guaranteed 9.8. Suggested retail of $89.99, and we have the one available for $62.19.
That's nice.
So that is a nice cover. Peach Momoko has become quite the cover artist. That's for sure.
This is a good bit. This is a good bit for like nostalgic purposes, because she's got one of those like electric globes there that she's touching that you used to see at Spencer's Gifts. You know, I like that touch.
Oh, that's very cool. The Tesla ball. I love those things.
The Tesla ball. All right. Before we get to the final books, let's do a quick recap, a Rex cap. All right. As always, and I didn't mention this, but it's always available. We have the Dynamite 10-pack reader set, suggested retail of $40, $3.99 cover price or higher. And as always, we have it for $5 as a thank you to our viewers. Then we did Project Superpowers, Chapter 2, number 1, signed by Jay Lee. We have one available, number 16 of $199 for $29.99. Then we had a best offer book, The Green Hornet, Year 1, number 1, signed by Alex Ross. Suggested retail of $199.99. It is a best offer book starting at $100, and it is number 12 of only 50. Then we did best offer book, Daredevil number 8, signed by Mark Waid. And it is a best offer book starting at $19.64. Then Preston out for pizza. Yeah, they couldn't take it anymore. They were so hungry. So then we have Batman, Prelude to the Wedding, Nightwing versus Hush, number 1, signed in silver by Tim Seeley. Suggested retail of $69.99. And we have the one available, number 6 of $60 for $27. Then we did Giant Size Astonishing X-Men number 1, signed by John Cassaday. Suggested we have one available, number 437 for $39. Then we did Dracula number 3, signed by Colton Worley. Suggested retail of $29.99, and it is a perfect 10 read at $10. Then we had the Vampirella Linsner variant edition bust. Suggested retail of $175. It is a best offer statue starting at $100. Then, of course, we just did Spider-Woman number 5, Peach Momoko, variant cover, CGC graded 9.8. Suggested retail of $89.99. We have the one available for $62.19. And still available, surprisingly, Doctor Strange number 1, blank variant, signed with Dormammu cover, cover sketch by Joe Delviato and Mariano Nicieza. Suggested retail of $149.99. We have it. The one available for $75. Hey, that's a great job, Jay. Thank you for doing that, buddy.
Nice.
Stitching those two together. Now you can see you are only getting the one book. The one on the left is prior to getting colored.
You're only getting one book.
And the one to the right is obviously after Mariano has colored it. Josh went. We are not setting up at the New York Comic Con, my friend. But I know that some staff members are going up to meetings, but we will not be set up at the con. All right. So then I believe Mariano is working on your Carnage run as we speak, getting a jump on that.
Nice.
Then we had Barbarella number 8, premium metal virgin cover by Derek Chu. Suggested retail of 100. It is a best offer book starting at 40. Then we had Vampirella Dracula and Holy number 3, premium metal virgin cover TMNT homage by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of 100. Best offer book starting at 40. Then we have the Outer Spaceman number 1. We have quantities of this, and the one you get will be signed by Mariano Nicieza. It's a special show price of $20, but $15 if you have purchased something else during the show, and it will be signed by Mariano.
Now that's a deal.
That is the deal.
Miss Jen is here, and she'll be in New York.
Cool. All right. Then we had Siren's Gate number 1, Shannon Mayer virgin cover. Suggested retail of 50, and we have one available for 40.
It's a nice collar on that cover.
And nice collar, huh?
Hey, Mariana.
Yes, sir.
Anchovies.
Anchovies.
You wanted pizza.
I love anchovies.
Got half anchovies, half green peppers, and pepperoni.
You really ordered a pizza?
Yeah.
You are the
good night, everybody.
best.
It is showing up at 8:15 once you're gone, but
you are the greatest.
All right. So then let's get to the rest of our Dynamite books. Unbreakable Red Sonja number 1, Lucio Perillo virgin cover. Suggested retail of 50. We have the one available for 40. All right. And then we have, that's good. That's
the rest of the covers out there. I was looking at the covers out there for this are just crazy. This is going to be a heavy cover art week.
All right. So then we have Sweetie Candy Vigilante number 1, Jeff Zorno virgin cover. Suggested retail of 50. And we have the one available for 40.
That cover's so gnarly. I love that.
It really is. This
my
book
goodness.
has the little.
I'm looking forward to checking that one out, man.
Yeah.
Nick comes through with the pizza. Yeah, but it won't be here until we're gone. So then we have Garbage Pail Kids Origins number 1, Ray Largo virgin cover. Suggested retail of 50, and we have the one available for 40. And this has been a very popular title for us. All right. So that finishes up the Rex Cap. And I think we got about, 15 minutes left on the best offers. And you know what, Jay, let's throw up the Mariano cam so we can take a look at this progress on the Carnage book. There we go. Yeah. All right. So that'll be colored for you, Ron.
This is for Geoffrey. Geoffrey wanted to see me color one of his pieces.
There you go.
It's not like Mariano's
for him.
This is going to be cool because Scream's got some wild colors on her. So
yes, I'm noticing from the reference here.
Right. It's going to be interesting to see your choices. I think that's awesome.
Well, we're doing the base color first. Something's got to go down as a base color. Then we'll layer on top of that.
See, I learned something last show when he did it.
That's the way we roll.
Lex Luthor. That was interesting.
By the way, big news. Just want everybody save some money from everybody else. I mean, keep supporting us here. Otherwise, I can't afford not to pay John anymore. And I can't afford...
My non-existent contract is coming up.
Or I can't afford to give John nice presents in lieu of pay. But I can't afford to not pay John anymore. Hey, John. Hey, look who's here.
Yeah, Jeffrey's been
Jeffrey's been
Yes, he's been with us.
Ah, you the man.
And he's super happy that his piece is being
Yeah,
colored.
his piece is
Nice.
being colored.
So we're going to get Ken Hazer in.
Oh,
nice.
And he's going to sell his covers.
very
Even
cool.
nicer.
Oh,
Do we know when?
In the next few weeks.
Next
You
few
have
weeks.
Ron
All
in
right.
too, so they can just deal directly and not have to go through it.
So we're gonna have a bunch of
I asked him, I said, instead of putting it on eBay, how about you sell it directly to our customers?
yeah, that'd be very
Wow.
cool.
And he said, okay.
And
So these are the covers that he draws for Dynamite. So Garbage Pail Kids, Army of Darkness Reanimator, Lady Hella. He's going to bring those.
so that'll
over
be
here.
very cool. And we can do a Q&A, I'm sure, with him as well.
I have some reanimator thoughts I'd like to speak to.
Actually, we'll just have the creators on the show. John and I will take a break.
I know, right? This is the Ken Hazer show. We'll be having pizza.
There are too many buttons that I have to push. Actually, I don't push any buttons.
We would be lost without you.
Oh, liar.
It's true. I'm speaking the truth.
Yeah, I mean, you follow Ken. I mean, any creator really, but Ken in particular on social media, he really likes to let you know what's on his board, like at that moment. You know what I mean? He has like Instagram, Facebook. You can check in with Ken, and he's very, this is what I'm working on. I mean, I know a lot of times creators, maybe they don't want to say too much or show too much or whatever. You know, it's like Ken wakes up, gets his coffee, turns on his camera. This is what's on the board today.
Yeah, so it's nice. I mean, you know, technology allows us now to do this kind of thing.
Walt Giovanni does that too.
There you go, Preston. And no Rex cap either.
And Walt Giovanni does that on Twitter. This is my morning warm up. He just puts it out there on Twitter.
We haven't had a drink in a while. We're going to call that one a shot.
Sounds fair.
It's
just time.
I do talk to Walt a lot. Gail Simone was on Twitter. She was asking her mutuals, like what artist would they like to see her work with? And almost immediately I was like, I want you to work with Walt Giovanni again.
That's two. All right. So the lull is over, folks. So that's 2 shots in a row right there. Bang. So
her work, I mean, Gail's done a lot of really good stuff, but her work with Walt on Red Sonja for me is like, you know, that's like the sweet spot for both of them.
Gotcha. Preston, who would you send your emails to? You can send them to John. Feel free. Oh man. So all right. So what do we see coming up this week from your comic book day? Anything you guys are thinking about? Anticipating?
Well, I'm really anticipating the new Jeff Johns launch with I'm pretty sure it's Gary Frank, right? Junkyard Joe, which is part of that whole Geiger universe. And I like Jeff Johns, and I think they've been doing a good solid job on that series. So I am pretty sure it's with Gary Frank. Yeah. But Junkyard Joe is really pumping. I'm excited for that. I'm a big Garbage Pail Kid fan, so I'm really pumped for Origins, like beyond pumped for that, because the Madballs, Garbage Pail Kids, that's awesome. But I want to see I've always wanted to know, where did the real Nasty Nick come from? You know, and I think we're going to finally know. So
we're going to find out. Yeah, I mean, here this week, with Nick's this week. This is the covers this week. They're all out on the easel for the video. And I got to tell you, they're just, the Shannon Mayer thing is kind of like front and center.
Right.
People have been talking about this since, you know, the announcement was made, and almost immediately. It almost in a way
he's doing the interiors, right, as well.
Yes, it's all painted.
Yeah, and I don't know has he done a full-on big project like this with interiors?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Gargoyles is it was just on the cover of the new previews, wasn't it? So that's so 2 months away or something then? December.
I'm so pumped for that, y'all. You don't even know. You've made me so happy. I'm so pumped for that. And it's a good time to put it out too, because we're primed in 90s nostalgia right now, right?
Yeah, we are.
And NECA just did the Goliath action figure and other Gargoyle action figures. I think, is it on Disney Plus? You know, so it probably got some new eyes on it or something like that. But that show is really good, and you guys are bringing Wiseman back to do it, so that's the way to do it. That's awesome.
Yeah, he had.
When are y'all doing Silverhawks for me? Come on, let's get Silverhawks.
Where's Silverhawks?
I got a pitch.
Well, I mean, Dan Jurgens is going to be doing Tarzan. I mean, there's like a lot going on. That's why sometimes if emails don't get instantly responded to, there's a lot going on here. I mean,
you mean your emails?
No, Nick gets right back to me. I don't know about the rest of you, but I text Nick.
That's a bot.
That's a Nick bot. That'd be great. Dan Jurgens is doing Tarzan. We're gonna have one of my favorite things, King Kong.
Hey, Creative Keep, what's going on, buddy?
Y'all
doing this as well. All right, so
y'all doing King Kong?
What?
Y'all are doing King Kong?
We are doing King Kong.
Oh man! And plus, y'all got Darkwing Duck on the horizon still, right?
Darkwing Duck is on the horizon. So, and that Monsterverse is going to be on.
Hey, if you haven't hit thumbs up yet, please hit that thumbs up. I don't mind interrupting, John.
No, that's okay.
With love.
King Kong is going to be next year, right?
It is.
All right. So creative.
No, but I mean, it's not this year. It'll be 2023, right?
Yeah.
2023.
So hopefully by March.
So Creative Keep just joined us. All right, Creative. We have one cover sketch left.
We just
So
talking
I'm
about
going to throw
Oh my
that up there.
God.
Isn't that crazy?
Nah. I got to tell you, Mariana does a great job on coloring these, but like he's got it planned. This one he's doing just out of the blue. Beautiful. Ronald, if you want to kick in an extra $5 for Mar, we won't turn you down.
Did you want to put the skin on?
No worries, Creative. But I want to throw this up for you because it's the last one left. Doctor Strange #1, blank variant signed with Dormammu.
I know what got you about
by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. So on the left, you have prior to Mariano coloring, and on the right, obviously, the finished product. And that's what you're getting. So if nobody gets confused, you're not getting two comics.
Right. And Marcus, actually, John had a great idea, which is King Kong Betty Page.
Yeah, I wandered into Nick's office and threw that out there. Just
so
it's a great idea.
Let's see what's on the board.
So
but yes, Edward, a King Kong comic book. Nick said March-ish 2023.
All right. So Creative, if you're interested, this has suggested retail of $149.99, and it is available. We have the one available for $75.
I'm telling y'all, when you launch Darkwing Duck, you got to do a special round of cosplay covers across the board of ducks dressed as Vampirella, Red Sonja.
That would be great.
Like that would be great. Like like people make them dog calendars or whatever, but do it with ducks. Would PETA be cool with that? I don't know, but that would be awesome.
I don't know. I mean, I guess you'd have to ask PETA, and you probably have to ask Disney, right? Hey, do you mind if we do Darkwing Duck? One of the things that I've really enjoyed, and it hasn't been at the level of like Star Wars or Marvel or whatever, but quietly they've put together several monster movies, 2 Godzilla movies, a Kong movie, Kong versus Godzilla. My understanding is that world, that universe is moving on to Apple Plus next year. And there's sort of going to be a Skull Island show series. And I'm really looking forward to that because they really put a lot of thought into that. You know what, Jay? There's a ton of stuff. I went into Nick's office after the King Kong announcement, and my first thought was King Kong and Betty Page. Nick thought it was a good idea, if it materializes next year,
And we're getting the pitch together right now, John. This is perfect. So it fits right in with Betty Page because she goes off and explores these like supernatural mysteries, right?
That was sort of my idea.
Right?
That
something happens. Somebody's got a swap array. King Kong gets Betty Page size. Betty Page is giant. Like that would be really cool.
Attacking the 50-foot Betty.
Nice. I like that.
Unfortunately, Nick is buried under these ideas that I just shoot out there. I would think that, and again, Nick makes these decisions, a schedule, who knows, but we do a lot of Betty Page, and Betty Page leans right into King Kong in a bunch of ways, including the time period kind of works. Even the most basic idea of, Betty is a model, right? Betty is modeling on Skull Island. And, oh, look, we didn't realize there's a lot to do there.
I think you just wrote the story.
Well, also
done.
The attack of the 50-foot Betty story also would be, Betty in the leopard skin and, Kong in her hand or whatever. There's a lot of there, which is sort of why I kind of.
We just take all these ideas, especially from people in the chat. It'll be like maybe the first time that basically we're paying Nick for the plot. You know what I'm saying? Like we're just doing it, I mean, I think that's a really good idea,
I'm just saying, I don't see neither one of you write nothing down, but whatever.
We don't have to write it down. It's cemented here on YouTube forever.
In theory, there would be like a professional writer that would do this.
Yeah. Me and John will just take creative ideas, creative consultants.
Inspired by a chat of John and Robbie. I love that.
And everybody in the chat here. Some good ones.
Be writing the cover. Inspired.
When are we going to get the comic book adaptation of this show? That's what I want to know.
For real, right?
I'm working on it.
I want a cape.
You want a cape?
Capes are cool. All right, so less than 5 minutes left for best offers if anybody wants to get in on them. And let me read them through again one more time. So Green Hornet Year 1, number 1, signed by Alex Ross. It is a best offer book starting at 100.
And this is a good, even though it's year 1, if you want to start getting into Green Hornet, this is really a cool place to start.
All right. Then we have, let me get through the rest of best offers real quick. Daredevil number 8, signed by Mark Waid. It is a best offer book starting at $19.64. And then we had the Vampirella Linzer variant edition bust. Suggested retail of $175 and is a best offer starting at $100. Then we had Barbarella number 8, premium metal virgin cover by Derek Chu. Suggested retail of $100, best offer starting at $40. Then we had Vampirella Dracula Unholy number 3, premium metal virgin cover TMNT homage by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $100 and is a best offer book starting at $40. All right. So there we go. That is the best offers. Jay, it gets recorded. That's true. But I'm not going back to review the 2 hours and seeing our ugly three faces. That's for sure. So Preston wants a Darkwing Duck Shadow team up.
I don't know if that, I mean, it's like I don't know if Disney is wants that. I don't know if Disney I think wants Darkwing Duck to be featured in Darkwing Duck. I don't.
Well, I think they would be missing an opportunity if they didn't do a Darkwing Duck Vampirella crossover.
I agree. Yeah, Darkwing Duck and Vampirella would be.
So Ed Weird goes, you know how you guys did Elvira paying homage to the movies? You should do the same thing with John and top 5 favorite movies. You can skip the tub cover though.
Yeah, there'll be no photo or cosplay covers for that.
Oh man! Next time you chat with David, right? By the way, John, let him know how much I loved that last issue of Elvira in Horrorland because I love the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. I love Wes Craven. I'm going through that franchise again right now. And I feel like he had the same idea I did, that 1, 3, and 7, the ones that Wes were directly connected with, those are the best ones. And so he referenced all 3 of those, and I loved that. And I thought it was a good tribute to Wes.
Dave is a huge, I'll talk to Dave a bit. Dave is a huge horror buff in particular.
That's a shot, by the way, everybody.
That is a shot.
Correct, I did that for y'all. That's for y'all.
He is, especially sort of like the LA movie culture, which, Elvira is sort of right into part of that or whatever. But that's really kind of, his wheelhouse. Right. And I don't think this is a huge spoiler or surprise, but there'll be more Elvira next year. And I would very much suggest people sort of, I know every time, and I say this a lot, and I don't mean to be repetitive, but I keep getting this question all the time. When something says finale for like Elvira or Betty Page, it's the finale of that series. It's not like, I'm pretty comfortable saying Dynamite's going to do more Army of Darkness. Dynamite's going to do more Elvira. I don't know creators or stories or schedule, but at some point you're going to see that again. Right. Dave has an idea of where he wants to go with Elvira and movies, and we've talked about it a little bit, and I know a tiny little bit more than everybody else. And I would just say, if you're enjoying this, you don't have to read the previous stuff. The previous stuff is really funny. It's really, they reference it a little bit, but I say this all the time. Some books you kind of need prior material for. A lot of Dave's stuff, you need to read like the inside cover,
right?
And have cable. If you gotta have those 2 things, you're pretty good.
Regardless, you should read all of the Elvira books published by Dynamite currently. You should get the omnibuses of the stuff from the 90s, and you should even go back and get the DC House of Mystery that she did back in the 80s. You should just get every Elvira appearance in a comic book.
I mean, Elvira, that's like kind of everybody had somebody on their wall as a kid in our generation. For me, it was Elvira.
Yep, I had Elvira Coors Light poster because my dad worked at the beer company.
Nice.
All right, so let's as soon as best offers are closed, and Jay, let's blow up the Mariano cam. So Ron, if you're still watching,
wow,
check the progress.
Wow.
Looks like Ronald McDonald threw up on that page.
In a good way.
In a good way.
In a good way. That's what. Yeah. I mean that as a compliment, Mariano.
Oh my gosh! All right, so again, so we'll be back on Wednesday, and we're gonna have some more of these cover sketches from. Although unfortunately, Mariano will not be joining us on Wednesday.
Yes, he will.
No,
I've talked to his employer. He'll be here all the time now.
No, he won't. He's got better stuff to do.
He's got much better stuff to do.
Great show, guys. See you Wednesday. By the way, my wife fainted when I gave her John's popcorn recipe. She's a health food.
Like I've told people for years, I'm your cook, I'm your caterer.
That's like dropping the F-bomb if your wife's a health food nut, you know. The man's still calling it lard shortening. You gotta get with the times, bro.
One of my grandmothers used to make biscuits with lard. Bruh. Those were the best biscuits I've ever had. Like ever still to my life, man. They're so good.
Like spoon bread. You get like a good spoon bread. I've never seen spoon bread not be improved by a little bit of lard and bacon fat going in there.
I can't see anything not being improved by lard and bacon fat.
I'm just saying. It's getting to be that holiday time, and we're seeing all the cornbread recipes and all the dressing recipes, all the stuffing recipes, depending on where you live in the country. You know, I know they're saying put in some oil, put in some butter, and that's fine. A little bit of bacon fat goes a long way in terms of flavor.
So Robbie has his Horror Fest show tonight at 9 p.m. on his channel, Pop Culture Philosophers, PCP. Make sure to tune in for that as we're approaching the holiday Halloween season.
You should be listening to Robbie. You should be checking out that show all year, but especially now.
Right.
This is like, like Robtober. You should kind of be like checking the show out right now. You know what I mean?
We're doing Robtober next year. You just wait. That's gonna be awesome.
And then we have our show with Alec, AR Comics, on Wednesday.
And you're right. Robbie has awesome reviews too. He really does.
Yeah, Robbie has some great content.
I think they're on point because he's like a fan, right? Too many times this person this week doing the review. You're just paid to sit there,
right?
Going to the movies all the time now. I'm developing an allergy to Maria Menounos. I get it. She loves every movie. It's kind of like this bacon-eyed stare. She's talking. It's okay to like or not like a movie. You're right. PCP Horror Fest really is the best time of the year.
So make sure you check it out. It is 9 p.m. Eastern tonight or 8 p.m. Central. If you're in the Central Time Zone, on his channel, Pop Culture Philosophers on YouTube. So definitely check it out. We'll be back with Alec, AR Comics on Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. Then I will be on Robbie's channel on PCP on Friday at noontime for our lunch show, topic to be determined. And then Nick has his original art show at 7 p.m. on Friday nights. Some great stuff there. So Robbie, Ed Weird wants to know if you're on Facebook too or just YouTube.
Yes, we have a Pop Culture Philosophers page on Facebook. It's not super active, but we do have our official Facebook group, and that's where we're the most active on socials, and it's called the PCP Army. So just look for that and join. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Again, Robbie's shows are always content-filled and always a lot of fun as well.
I can't believe how much of this book is colored.
He actually works pretty fast when we're not distracting him constantly. Or he's telling his,
that looks great.
Right, exactly.
I hope we get a picture or a scan of the final product before you ship that out, because I want to see it, because that looks great. And that's one of my favorite symbiote characters is Scream. So
I just hope that when Mariana goes to bed tonight, he doesn't talk in his sleep and like scream out Megan Fox or Charlize Theron's name
while he colors in his sleep, because it's just been coloring nonstop.
I don't think his wife would be too happy about that.
It's Monday. He's probably just sleeping on the couch in his office.
And weird PCP Army.
Yep.
On Facebook. That's what you're looking for, buddy.
That's
all right. So again, I want to thank everybody that took the time to join us this evening. Again, I want to thank Mariano for being here. Obviously, Robbie, our buddy Rockin Robbie, and of course John, as he's always here every week helping us out. And
congratulations to those people who bought stuff. Man.
Yeah, and Josh, hey, thank you, buddy. Thank you. We love to hear about that. Hope you can catch more shows as well. Everybody have a great night. Make sure to tune in to Robbie's show, and we'll see everybody back on Wednesday. Have a good night.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.